I have in this box the secret to great photographs. Would you like to see? Oh, so that's just a cheap trick. We'll try again. I have in this box the secret to great photographs. But you already knew it was empty. So this box is what a great pair of hiking boots was delivered in. I don't mind advertising. Salomon, great boots, and yeah, if you want some more promo. Anyway, the contents of the box, the original contents of the box don't matter, and you already know that there's nothing in it. So how can this be remotely containing the secrets to some great photographs? Well, that's what we're going to find out. Before anyone calls the lunatic asylum, I need to explain. This box or any box will suffice. I could sell you this box if you wanted to, but you can use your own. I've got a piece of equipment here that I've mentioned in a previous video, but not actually demonstrated. So in this video I'm going to introduce the Feelworld 759 FW759 monitor. This has been supplied to me by Andy Scene. Andy Scene bundled bits and bobs up so you get a nice case and everything with it, and it's an interesting thing to have, because I never realized just how useful one of these could be just for a photographer. I mean, obviously it's intended for video work, to provide a larger screen for field monitor operations in filming. But because it will provide a live feed from the camera without lag, and this is an important thing, because a lot of cameras these days, of course, you've got a Wi-Fi connection, you can connect them to a tablet or something, but there's a lag in that often, and tablets can be very difficult to mount and the like. So this is designed to do the job. And if I just connect it with an HDMI cable, and I will pop that in there. Eyesight's bad. Another point I'll make in a moment. There we go, look, mug, and there we are, even in focus mug. I'm not going to go through major features on this because it's quite unnecessary for my particular purpose, but it's designed for videographers. So yeah, it's got focus peaking. Actually, focus peaking is really good on it. In actual fact, it's going right now. You can see there's red outlines on lots and lots of these things in here, indicating that they're in focus. So yeah, it's really rather useful for that. And well, let's just mention now the fact that that's small, and these are getting old. You see me moan about taking my glasses on and off all the time. Anyone will tell you that the bigger something is, the easier it is to see. That's why people who need glasses often have bigger print. Well, 7-inch monitor. What's that? 2-inch? Something like that. Hands down, it's better. It's nice, it's useful. So why do we need the box? Well, the secret's not necessarily in the box. You see, the secret is the box. A few weeks ago, somebody wrote in the comments, I apologise, I can't remember who it was. I should have checked. My apologies. Somebody wrote in the comments of one of the videos, I bet he could take a good photograph from within a box. And I thought, challenge accepted. In actual fact, I think I said challenge accepted. So, one box, one camera, one field monitor. Let's just give it a go. You know what? I think they might be right. Of course, what started off as a bit of a joke has actually become quite an interesting project. And this box is quite faceted on the inside, and there's lots of possible things to kind of point your camera at. I mean, obviously you wouldn't necessarily just point it at the flat part of cardboard, because you're just going to get a photograph of a texture. But if you point, say, into the corner there, then you've got something far more interesting to look at. Now, I'm not so keen on these bits here, if for no other reason. You can see, let me try and fold that over. Yeah, they've got these little cutouts and such, and they're a little bit too uniform for me. And the abstract nature of shooting within the box, I think, is really very interesting. Now, of course, you don't need a field monitor, but by Christ, it makes a big difference to the opening and closing of the box. And because the camera is smaller in the box without the screen open, I can get it into more kind of convoluted places. Now, work like this requires a great deal of experimentation. Of course it does. I like pointing the camera at corners and facets within it. So yeah, here we've got the kind of three-way corner at the bottom. Perhaps if we go into a corner and tilt with even the lid open here, getting some light and shade, and that's really what we're working with here. It's just light and shade. It's not an uninteresting image, and with some editing perhaps you can make it into something very, very interesting. And we're creating our own shade here, and it's like, okay, this is marvelous. Now, one of the things that I've realized also is that obviously the boxes aren't sealed, so yeah, little bits of light get in at the corners and such. So if the box is closed and you've got some corner there, you can see, I don't know whether you can see it just here, there's a pinpoint of light coming up, and actually that's creating a really interesting kind of light pattern there. Let's see what we can do with that. I like these kind of things. They're really, really nice. Another idea, get yourself a couple of LEDs. This is my new favourite LED light from K&F Concepts. I really like this. So let's put this into a colour. Let's make that blue. And we're just going to put two colours in here. Let's see what this does. Here we go. No extraneous light coming in elsewhere. Again, quite an interesting kind of image. And again, I'm just literally just pointing the camera at areas in here. How much simpler do we need to get with this? We are taking photos of the inside of a cardboard box. I can't believe I just said that. I'm taking photos of the inside of a cardboard box, and I'm getting images that I like. So we'll put this one aside for the moment and we'll try with a different box. This is the one that the Feelworld tripod winged its way around the world in. Now this is interesting. I confess to having tried this already. Let's pull the exposure up a little, and just stick it at f2.8. We'll see what happens here. Hold on, we'll really pull the exposure up because there really isn't a lot of light in here. So this may not work. I may need to put light in here. Let's have a go. I think it was an 8-second exposure, something like that. There we go. Let's try this. Well, maybe we want to defocus this. Don't know. Let's try that. See what that does. That's quite thin. I like that. Let's try. There we go. Curiously, I have a moon. I think that's a great looking abstract image. And of course, yeah, you've only got to just twist the camera a little bit and maybe turn things round a little. 10-second exposure, I think that was saying. Let's just give that a go. And of course, I've no idea what this is really going to look like, but that's part of the fun. I really could go on for a long while, but there's no fun in you watching me stick a camera in a box, holding a light and pressing a few buttons. So give it a go yourself. I'll run out in a little while with some images from this, but let's talk a little bit more about this. So this is the Feelworld FW759 field monitor. It can be battery powered with a standard Sony MPF battery, I think. If I'm wrong, I'll correct on screen. But there's also a 12 volt input jack as well on here. Standard HDMI into it. And Andy's seen supply it in this really very useful carry box with the battery. The battery, incidentally, is USB-C chargeable, which is damned useful. It's also got a very useful power indicator on the back of it, so you can see how well charged that is. So USB-C charging, you don't even need a charger for it, which is, well, I don't need to tell you how useful it is. In the box we have a cable clamp which screws on the back here and ensures that your HDMI cable is properly secured on there. There's this very useful sunshade which just velcros on here. There we are. So very, very useful. I should have used that earlier really when it was reflecting the lights, shouldn't I? Dumb. There's also a little ball mount. You can see I've mounted it on one there. These things are much the same no matter where you get them from. Very useful in itself. And what else did it come with? Oh yes, it comes with an HDMI to micro HDMI adapter. That isn't on the cable, I should say. That isn't what I've been using here because my camera uses, I think it's a mini HDMI, so I had to get a different cable for that. But hey, that's hardly an issue. Lots of cameras will be using a micro adapter. And that's really it. You know, this all packs up and goes into this box. And you have to forgive me, I can't remember how it goes around now. I think it's something like that to protect the screen. And yes, there we go. Something like that. There we go. In here, there, and yeah, it's like trying to pack a packet of biscuits that you've opened, isn't it? I've got it wrong, but it does all fit in there. It's a great little package because you know you've got quite a lot of LCD glass there to protect, and yeah. If you were to just throw that into your camera bag, yeah, there's a good chance it would come out with a nice big crack across it. So, you know, the package is damned useful. What else can I say about a 7-inch monitor? If you want to look at the specs, there's links down below. Of course there are links down below. You know, I'll earn a small commission if you go and buy one. But the point is very much that I encourage you to go and have a look because genuinely this thing is damned useful. There's nothing stopping you attaching it to the hot shoe of your camera, and well, that's what it's for, and going around and having a big screen. I'll tell you somewhere else that would be very, very, very useful. I've used it for overhead filming over here, so I can get this rig over the top here and look down, and it's very good for giving me a visual monitor of what's going on down here at a reasonable level. It's great for macro, and as you kind of seen here, it's very good for macro in awkward environments. But eyes, you know, as they start to not do their job quite well enough, having 7 inches rather than 2 inches is better. Ask anyone. Jokes aside, it's a genuinely useful thing, and I've given you an idea of how you can use such a thing here. I do love creating abstract images, and of course where there's abstract images there's post-processing. All of the images you've seen today have been processed using DxO software. I am desperately trying to get away from the Adobe suite. I'm not going to drag myself completely away, but it's expensive and there are better alternatives. So we start with the raw processing and basic
operations using Photolab 8, and the creative stuff is done in the DxO Nick collection version 6, which is what I'm running. Version 7 is available. One of the things you may not be aware of is that all of the DxO software is available as a free 30-day trial. It's not one of those trials that involves you putting in your credit card number and then remembering to cancel it. It's absolutely free. It will just stop working after 30 days. Links are down below. Give them a try. One of the other techniques you might want to try with the camera is ICM. A lot of these in the box images started out as ICM images, so do consider that as well. When we're working with such small amounts of light, we have plenty of latitude for a bit of movement. Hope you've enjoyed it. Please click the like button, subscribe, all of that kind of stuff. And if you shoot any of these kind of thinking of inside the box type images, I'd love to see them. Thanks for watching. Take care.